welcome to the Mujiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. In today's video, we delve into the dynamic power struggle between two beloved characters, Luffy and Zoro. Over the years, fans have cherished these two for their incredible strength and unwavering determination. However, as we explore their portrayals, levels of strength, and goals, it becomes evident that one stands slightly above the other in the grand scheme of power within the series. Fans have loved Luffy and Zoro for many reasons over the years. They are two of the most important characters in One Piece. There are many amazing things about these characters, and one reason fans love them so much is that they are strong. These are the things that fans usually get the most excited about when they fight, and most of the time, they beat their many dangerous enemies. Fans do, of course, often compare Luffy and Zoro to each other. Many people think they are on the same level, but the story makes it seem like they are not. There are many things in the series that show that Luffy and Zoro are not equal, even though they are both strong and good at fighting. Luffy and Zoro's portrayal. The series' portrayal of Luffy and Zoro may prevent them from ever being equal. Zoro is Luffy's right-hand man and has decided to go with him everywhere. If Luffy can't follow the rules that Zoro has set, then he won't follow him at all, Zoro says. In other words, Zoro wants Luffy to be higher than him so he can explain why he is his captain. While they were on Fishman Island, Zoro made it clear that he expects certain things from Luffy and will not follow him if he can't deliver them. Zoro and Luffy often fight the enemy's number 1 and number 2 teams at the same time. Oda makes it clear that these two figures are not the same, even though they are both very strong. Most of the time, Luffy fights the strongest enemy, while Zoro fights the second strongest member of the organization. In other words, Luffy is stronger than Zoro. And in the Enies Lobby arc, where Oda properly explained the idea of Dariki, Zoro fought Kaku, who had a Dariki of 2,200, which was really cool. But Luffy fought Lucci, who had 4,000 Dariki, which is almost twice as much as Kaku. Even so, Zoro had a hard time beating Kaku, and Luffy had a hard time beating Lucci. This fight pushed both of them to their limits, forcing them to adapt for survival. Fans could tell that Luffy was much stronger because of this. At the same time, Zoro knew that in the Enies Lobby arc, Luffy was the only one who could fight Lucci. Plus, Zoro's opponent Kaku, whose Dariki was 2,200, was more like Jabra, whose was 2,180, than it was like Lucci. There is a lot less space between Zoro and Sanji than between Zoro and Luffy. The series has consistently portrayed Zoro in this manner. Even in Wano, where he went to the rooftop to fight Kaido, his biggest fight in the arc was later against King, along with Sanji's fight against Queen. Luffy and Zoro's level of strength. In One Piece, there have been times when these two characters had about the same level of strength. However, whenever they faced their strongest enemies, Luffy always lost to the ones who were much stronger. Luffy fought Crocodile in the Arabasta saga, while Zoro faced Mr. One in the same story. In terms of strength, Crocodile and Mr. One were not even close to being comparable. However, Zoro had a hard time beating Mr. One, while Luffy eventually won the fight against Crocodile, just barely. Again, in Enies Lobby, when they thought their big fights were over, Luffy proved to be way too strong by beating Lucci, who was at least twice as strong as Kaku. When these characters came back from the time skip, Luffy beat much stronger opponents again. In Dressrosa, Luffy stated that Pika was only strong enough to fight Zoro, who was the second strongest member of the crew, and not strong enough to bother the captain. In other words, this means that Zoro thinks Luffy is stronger than him in every way, even though he is very strong himself. More than ever, this gap in strength was clear in the last fights in Wano. Luffy defeated Kaido, the Yonko of the Sea, in a fight with King and Zoro. Everyone who has watched the series can see that Luffy was much stronger than Zoro when he came out of Wano. Luffy and Zoro's goals. Fans already know that one of Luffy and Zoro's goals makes them superior to the other. Zoro wants to be the strongest swordsman in the world, while Luffy wants to be the pirate king. The second goal is much harder than the first because he has to defeat Dracula Mihawk, who is within range of the Yonko. However, becoming the pirate king is still a worthy goal. Actually, right at the start of One Piece, Mihawk himself says that Luffy is on an even more dangerous road than Zoro, and that getting past Mihawk is a lot easier than becoming the pirate king. Don Chinjo also said in Dressrosa that the only person who can become the Pirate King is the one who beats and takes over everyone. The Pirate King will be the person who beats both the Yonko and the Marines. Luffy can only win something if he beats everyone else, which means he has to be the strongest. Even though he doesn't have the title strongest, Luffy will be the strongest person at the end of the story. Zoro will also be very strong, probably about as strong as the Yonko. But he will still be weaker than Luffy and very close to Sanji in terms of power, because that's how Oda set up the relationships in One Piece and made them stand out, especially in the big fights. Fans will definitely see these very strong characters take on even weaker threats as Luffy and Zoro's journey in the final saga goes on, until they finally reach the end of their limits. When they reach their true peak, fans will be thrilled to see. Summary and highlights. Fans of One Piece love how powerful and interesting Luffy and Zoro are, but the show makes it seem like Luffy is stronger. Zoro shows off Luffy's strength by fighting enemies that aren't as strong as him, drawing attention to the difference in power between them. Zoro wants to be the world's strongest swordsman, while Luffy wants to be the Pirate King. This shows that they have different goals and levels of power. In conclusion, Luffy and Zoro's journey in One Piece is a testament to strength, loyalty, and ambition. While Luffy aims for Pirate King status, Zoro pursues swordsmanship supremacy. Their dynamic showcases growth and resilience, captivating fans globally. As we anticipate the final saga, let's celebrate their enduring legacy and the thrilling adventures that lie ahead. Thank you for joining us, and may your dreams soar as high as the Grand Line. Thank you very much for visiting the Mujiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our review analysis. Don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, questions, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again. See you next time, buddy. What is One Piece anime? One Piece is a manga and anime story about a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be the king of the pirates in the world. As a child, he eats a devil fruit, a strange plant that makes him able to stretch like rubber. Before the show starts, Luffy goes out into the world for the first time and starts to gather a group of pirates. The main group grows over time, but it starts with Luffy, Nami the Navigator, and a swordsman named Roronoa Zoro. At some point, Luffy and his friends are known as the Straw Hat Pirates, and they go on many exciting adventures across the ocean. One Piece is a lot of fun because it's silly. Luffy goes from island to island around the world in the series. Each island has its own setting and theme. It's a pretty fantastical world full of animals that look like people, live skeletons, and other delightfully strange things. Within moments the group is in a winter scene, and the next they are on a tropical island full of giants. The show is full of silly and bright details. For example, Zoro holds a sword in his mouth, a scary military boss wears a cute bulldog hat. And people don't use phones to talk to each other instead. They use special transponder snails that can send and receive messages. Luffy is a carefree person who just wants to eat a tasty meal and laugh at bad jokes. Even though there are some funny parts in the series, a lot of One Piece is about freedom. During his travels, Luffy often takes up guns to help his friends and encourages others to do the same against pirates and government-backed military occupations. The characters in Luffy and his crew get stronger with each fight, which is typical for shonen manga. A lot of the story is about how Luffy beats a problem that seemed impossible to solve and finds some kind of secret power. After each fight, Luffy and his team get stronger and move closer to his main goal, which is to find the One Piece. Why is it called One Piece? The first part of both the manga and the anime shows that Pirate King Gold D. Roger is telling the truth about the mythical wealth called the One Piece. One Piece is the name of the show because Luffy wants to find the One Piece and become the next Pirate King. One of Luffy's main goals in the show is mentioned in the show's title. What is the One Piece? The answer to this question is still one of the biggest secrets in the series. It's been more than 1,000 episodes, and we still don't know what One Piece is. We know that the One Piece is the name of the treasure that Gold D. Roger collected on his travels because of details in the manga. We still don't know a lot about the treasure, though. There are a lot of ideas from fans about what the One Piece is, but we still don't know what it is or even if it's real. the One Piece could just be the friends Luffy makes along the way.